Laoise Costello, thank you so much for inviting me to your favourite bar, which is the Octopus Bar in Javea, warm Spain. I hope.
It is. It's lovely and warm here. Thanks so much for the introduction, Gary. This, I have to say, is one of my favourite bars. But the reason it's my favourite, apart from being in lovely sunny Spain, my father-in-law used to live over in Javea for over 25 years. He passed away, unfortunately, 3 years ago, but we had many great family gatherings over there. It's a fabulous little bar. What I love about it is on the Arenal promenade. There we go. It's on the Arenal promenade in Javea. Every 2 to 3 years, all the shops, bars and restaurants seem to get a facelift there. So if you haven't gone over for a year or two and then you go over for a visit, everything has changed. And Octopus Bar is one of the very few places that's remained the same over the years. It's quite traditional, beautiful little bar, small and cozy, and they serve gorgeous tapas. So it has everything you could need and a fabulous sea view.
Isn't it amazing also that when places sort of go through these refresh cycles, every time they do it, more authenticity about the location goes away.
Yeah.
And I see it even in Dublin at the moment. I don't know if you're seeing it, but like McCabe's is now called the Step In or something. Yeah. And then you see in geographic locations where you can hire an Irish company to create an Irish bar in Newark.
Yeah. Well, I know in particular with Javea, I think at this stage, the majority of the bars and restaurants are owned by the same organization. So you could go from one to the next and you don't really, there's nothing distinctive about them. They're all don't get me wrong, they're classy, they're trendy, they're lovely, but they just don't have that little traditional feel about them.
So you could see, if I went in there to Javea, you could see you and your kids' initials written on sort of ingrained.
I didn't go that far now, but one of the good things when you have the kids with you, there's little go-karts that they can hire and rent, and they go up and down. So you can sit there in the sunshine, have your beer, and keep an eye on the lads going up and down on the go-kart.
Honest to God, we've all been through it. All you want is just peace and 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Safe. So go-karts, whatever it might be. It used to be a swing. But anyway, it looks lovely. I see you're in the sunny part of this, the Octopus Bar. I'm in the more... the less sunny. But listen, so it's back in the day. Your father-in-law's back. He's sitting up there. You walk in and you're going to blow him away with your latest quote. Come on.
Oh, this is a tricky one now, Gary, because I have many of them. I love positive quotes and affirmations. If I had to pick one, it's Audrey Hepburn. And it's the word impossible. If you break up impossible, I am space possible. Impossible. It's possible. There's nothing impossible. I say this to the kids a lot. I suppose us as Irish woke up very proud this morning after Michael Noonan's fabulous goal over in Norway yesterday. That's a fantastic 16-year-old lad who's just broken a European record. I'm sure his family and friends and everybody are so proud. But I'm sure there was many times over his very young life that he thought things were impossible. And yesterday he made it possible. So I'm always...
That's so simple to remember. I often think that some of the quotes that we have, by the time you get to remember it, you've forgotten what the purpose is.
Yeah. Like, you know the gist of it, but you don't remember. Well, I've used this saying, and this is why I have to pick this one as my favorite, because I'm probably most well known for that one. And I've used this a lot in like team building and various different slides in Hanley Automation. So people have tried to claim it for their own over the years.
Yeah, no, we know the origins. Audrey Hepburn and Laoise Costello. We know. Because I think a lot of people have interpreted it differently, but if I think I'm correct in saying that the great man, his name's gone from my mind now, in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, he had an interpretation of that, and he said everything is impossible until it's not.
Yeah. Exactly. Right? Until it's done, and then it becomes possible.
And then this becomes, in particularly if you're involved with politicians, and then it becomes self-evident, surely.
Yeah. But again, it's all about perspective, isn't it? Because you could be in your positive perspective or negative. The negative perspective is it's impossible, but the positive. When my kids were younger, they went through this little phase of saying, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And I used to say to them, lads, what if may never happen. And you know what? If it does, you'll handle it. So I think a lot of it is just about your mentality and perspectives. Just try and stay in the positive if you can.
And again, I'm not a religious man at all, but I do remember a saying that says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him of your plans in the future.
Yeah, that's
it.
It's
that sort of be flexible enough to interpret what's going to change, and then you just never know. So therefore, you've suitably impressed everybody. And everybody is in homage to you at this stage. You've captivated the bar. Unfortunately, though, there's been a lightning strike and everybody's phones and everything is gone except your phone with 3 apps.
Oh.
Right? What are the 3 that you just couldn't live without?
What are the 3 apps?
Yeah.
Well, I think the first one has to be banking, because I'm not going to be able to buy any beers in Octopus if I have no funds.
You mentioned your kids earlier, so you have to get them funded.
My kids couldn't survive if I didn't have Revolut, could they? We've spoken about this before.
My goodness, you're even using the full name. They don't even use that with me. Just rev it to me, Dad.
Rev it. Yeah.
So banking.
The second one would have to be the camera app. We have to capture the memories and the moments.
Go on.
Yeah, the camera app, it would. And actually today is my youngest son's 14th birthday. So I found myself last night going through photos on my phone from when he was younger. And like, we all have our memories, but really those photos capture the moments. So that's an important one for me to be able to look back.
I had to disable it. I have one in and around that bracket, and for a while I had to disable it because, sometimes you're just not ready to accept.
I know. Yeah.
So he's 14, it's great age.
Yeah. So the third app would have to be the App Store, so I could go and download all the other apps I need.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Give me 3 wishes, Garry, and the last wish is 4 wishes.
You know that joke, don't you? That we were all brought up on. If a genie gave you 3 wishes, the third wish should be, I want 3 more.
Yeah.
My goodness, you are very bright. That's a good one. I like that one. But in all jokes aside, let's talk a little bit about pictures and stuff. That's an interesting one. I haven't had that on the show yet. And I guess it's a blessing and a scourge, isn't it? All this stuff.
Yeah.
Having all access to all this stuff all the time. And obviously we have to be all accommodating on this show. But I have yet to take a picture of my dinner and send it to someone and say, look what I'm eating.
I know. Yeah.
But you have highlighted a wonderful thing of capturing everything, which is basically on your person being able to just randomly look back.
Yeah. But Garry, what I love on the iPhone, the search function now. So you can you can obviously tag people, so you can search for people. So last night I was putting my son's name in and bringing up all 3,000 photos of him that I have on my phone. But you can search keywords now also. So it's really easy to look back and find something.
I agree. That's the point I was sort of making in my own mind, is that I've thousands upon thousands of photographs, videos, and VHS, on CDs, on, I don't know who listens to this show, but there was a thing called physical hard photographs.
And that's something I'm really bad at. I often think at the beginning of the year, if you went through your photos from the previous year, and even if you just picked 10 to print out and put them into an album, but I have yet to do this. But yeah, you miss having the physical photos the way we did years ago. Yeah.
Do you remember the albums? You bring them, you bring them along, and it got to the stage before my mother and father passed, where unfortunately, these are all the cycles of life. You bring one along, and they go, "He's dead, she's dead, she's gone, she's this." So maybe it is, maybe it's good, maybe it's just part of the evolution. So we're coming to the end of our little chat. And you've been such a great guest. You've been authentic and all the rest. But I do want to ask you, how do you stay productive? In Spain, in that beautiful bar.
I suppose for me, one of the things I've learned over the years is to stay present. Stay present and focused. So when I'm at my least productive or least motivated, it's when my mind is wandering. You know, I might be thinking about something in the past or the future, or overthinking something. So I think even just being aware of the importance of being present and being focused. And then after that, it's just a matter of doing it and practicing it. And I think the more I find I'm aware of it and the more I do it, that really helps to kind of bring me back. And it keeps me then productive and motivated.
Wow. It's funny when you say that, because it's a bit like mindfulness.
Yeah.
I read a lot about it, but I never practice it. And I think that's a lot of what you just said there. It's been am I right in saying
actively present? Yeah.
Actively present is the ability where you're knowingly stopping, is it?
Yeah,
is it
exactly. Yeah. Because when I think, like, you know, when you're motivated, if you think about when you're most motivated, productive, or when you're most confident or at your best, what is it that's different to when you're maybe procrastinating or distracted? It's you are present, you're in the moment. Your mind's not wandering, you're not thinking about something that happened yesterday, you're just there in the moment. And for me personally, that really helps me stay productive and motivated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Janie Mac, I wish I knew all this wisdom when I was like 20.
Well, Garry, you're doing a great job without them.
No, but well, there you go. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's certain ones of us in the world that have to just make the mistakes and then get there, and others are learn it and they learn them. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I know we've spoken before this chat about our kids, and sort of you're constantly trying not to be too early your mother or your father.
Yeah.
But
we are. I mean, we had a group of students in over the summer, and they're fantastic. But one of the young engineers, male engineers in our team, said to me afterwards that he thought he was going in and he thought he was the cool guy, and he is absolutely a cool guy and he's brilliant. But he said it was a real eye opener, because even though there was only, you know, maybe 15 years in the difference, he really felt it. He thought he was going in as the cool guy. He was going to connect and engage with them. That did not happen at all.
Do you know? Yeah, exactly. And that's why that's why we evolve iteratively.
Yeah.
You know, we go iteratively from the CD player to the Walkman to the iPod to the phone.
Yeah.
One of the challenges we have collectively, and we don't have time on the show today to talk about, is we've gone nearly from one generation to 5 generations ahead.
Yeah.
So quickly that our own brains with algorithms and stuff are trying to work it out. I have enjoyed it. I have felt the heat. I have loved the little anecdotal story of obviously you were very fond of him because you went back every year for 25 years.
Definitely was.
So that was lovely, and we were in a nice place. I must get the lighting right for the next time we visit.
Yeah.
Laoise Costello, also thank you for joining Host in Ireland. It's your first year. Thanks, welcome. And
thanks for having us. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. It's a fantastic group between the team and Host in Ireland and the partners. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. So thank you for having us.
Great. And with that, we'll say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thanks, Garry. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Take care.